Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm standing at the base of the Prom BTS at the top of Sukhumvit, Soi 24. This is Prom. I am walking up towards Terminal 21. I want to show you a street. Again, that's Soi 24 across the way. Right here, where this car's coming out, that's leaving the Quartier parking lot. But if it was a Soi, call it Soi 35. There isn't a Soi 35 there, but just to give you an example of how the streets line up down the way. So we're gonna walk 5 blocks up till Soi 25. It's a real interesting street right in the heart of central Bangkok. There are I think two low-rise buildings. I believe the Mirage is one of them. You can get a nice little condo in there. I think they're 40, I don't have it memorized, 45 square meter. And I've seen them under 30,000 baht. I think under 25,000 baht. Now again, if you want to pay 10,000 baht, you're not going to live down here in central Bangkok. You're going to live 30 minutes down the train. So that's all a consideration. But if you want to be in the quote-unquote heart of Bangkok, especially expat central, if that's a good or bad thing, and I don't know, I like it. I meet a lot of different people through the channel, and this is where we meet 99.9% of the time. So with all that being said, I'll also meet plenty of people asking my 2 cents on where they should live, and I'll point to the area in between say Nana on Newt and the closer to Terminal 21, I guess. I hate to be cliche. I know, hey, you know, that's some advice, telling somebody to live right around Terminal 21, probably the most expensive real estate in town. It's true, but there are different pockets where you can still find a place for, call it $700-800 US a month. If you want to spend half of that, again, it's going to be in an older Thai building in this area, or a brand new building that's 20 or 30 minutes away. That's a decision you'll have to make. But let's go down, and the Soi 25 is probably closer to, in fact, I know it is, the Asok BTS. That is at Soi 21. If there were a Soi 21, it's not. It's Asok Mantri. But Soi 23 is where Soi Cowboy is. Soi 21 is obviously where Terminal 21 is, although it's called Asok Mantri. But the distance between here and Prom to Asok, less than a 10-minute walk. Again, as you get further out of Bangkok, the train stations might be a long way apart. Here, in between Nana and Asok, it's like a 5-minute walk. In between Prom and Asok, I'll call it an 8-minute walk. It's just a little tighter down here. And I'm also standing on the left side is the Emporium Shopping Center, on the right the M Quartier. We're gonna pass the M Sphere, not even 2 minutes up the road. And then not even 3 or 4 minutes later, you're at Terminal 21 and the Sukhumvit MRT station and Asok BTS junction. So that's always good. Those 2 trains will get you anywhere around town. Plus, you go 1 train stop to the right and you're at the airport rail link, 22 minutes out to Suvarnabhumi. Here's the number 511. I used to ride that bus from here when I lived in On Newt all the time. Yeah, it just depends on your lifestyle. I'll put these videos out here in central Bangkok, a city that I love, and I'll get comments on how can you live there with the pollution and the traffic and on and on. Hey, I love it. To me, this is New York City, 1970s minus the crime. It's about 1970s prices. To me, it's great. I love it. But if you're more mellow living kind of person, well, that's the other 99.9% of Thailand. There'll be no shortage of places for you to choose. But if you are going to live in Bangkok, you might as well be right here in the middle of it. I mean, here comes another motorcade. Yeah, that's probably that's a mini motorcade, so that's probably just an ambassador, or every now and then a member of the royal family, and that'll be 10 or 15 cars and Harleys, the works. Not unusual to see these motorcades around town. No, before that motorcade interrupted me, what I was getting at was if you do want to come to Bangkok, maybe you've visited and yeah, you're interested in living in this city, well, just pay the extra money, even if it's $200 a month, and live down here in the more central location rather than taking a 20 or 30-minute train ride. I had a 12-minute train ride from En Nut, and that got inconvenient after a year. I was always down here. Yes, it's a good train system, on and on, but just having to walk upstairs to the train, wait for the train, pay for the train, and the trains aren't cheap. It's going to be $2 or $3 US round trip. I mean, 47 baht is not uncommon. 37 baht, which is about $1 one way, is a normal fare to get from a reasonable 5 train stations. So it's not free. And grabs, taxis, you start getting out on the fringes of town, they don't want to go there. You'll open this cab door right here with a green light on. I could open his door and say, hey, take me out to Mo Chit, and he'll just drive over my feet, drive away. It's like, why am I going to Mo Chit? I can stay right down here in Sukhumvit and just make 10 little stops, you know, back and forth with a quote-unquote broken meter, make $200 each stop, or run you out to Mo Chit for 250 baht, and then I have to deadhead all the way back here. No, I'm not going to do that. So you got to take all that into account when you're trying to save $100 on a room. Now, I get it, living down here in Prompong and Asok, there's a big difference between a 25,000 baht a month apartment and 125,000 baht, and you can quite easily find both. But there are plenty of people that don't mind spending 2,000 US dollars for an apartment that may cost $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in many parts of the world. I'm on a pretty comfortable pension, and I'm grateful for everything I have, but yeah, I'm much more comfortable paying 600, 650 baht or US dollars for my place, depending on where the baht's at. I don't even know what I'm paying. I pay 19,000 baht. I don't even really keep close track. Is that a little over $500 right now? I know it dipped under. It doesn't really matter to me. I live where I want to live, and that's a reasonable compromise. Sure, I would like to spend $300 a US for my condo, but in the end, that's going to be harder in the more central location. So that is probably the best $200 I spend, if you want to look at it that way, every month. I'm heading to meet a couple of subscribers that shot me a message. They want to meet over to Shay's and grab a beer, and I'm just walking over. It's a 10-11 minute walk from my place, so no jumping on a train for me. Nice and convenient. You know what? I take it back. There is a Soi 35, and I knew that. I meant to say that mall would be at Soi 37, which I don't know if it exists or not. Soi 39 is the next street up, which is almost directly across from Sukhumvit Soi 24. They match odd and even, a little less as you get up the way. And I have about a half hour, so let's hustle on down. I'll give you a peek at this Soi 25. I pointed people in that direction a few times. You know, not that I'm any kind of expert. I am not, but I've been here more than a couple of years, and I know tons of people that live in all kinds of buildings, and we trade stories. This Soi 25 comes up in conversation often as a kind of a little hidden gem. It's not a dead-end street, but it's definitely not a thoroughfare, and yet it's feet from everything. And the top of Soi, well, in between Soi 33 and 33 and a half is a 24-hour via market, so this would be super convenient if you live down there. At Soi 25, I'm trying to think what other markets are down that way. I know there's one on a Sok Mantri, kind of by Cowboy, but this is 24-hour, and right over my right shoulder is a 24-hour Sunrise Tacos and an Easy Burger. Kind of a downside, and it's not a deal breaker by any means, but this walkway straight above leads from, and it's covered, you're underneath the railroad tracks, but it leads from the two malls at the Prompong BTS down to the M-Sphere. But if you can see off to the right here is no way to leave the walkway above and exit over here on the odd side. There are a set of stairs that lead down to Sukhumvit on the even side. I get it. They're trying to flow the traffic directly into the other mall, but still, I think there are plenty of people on the odd side of the street that would like to walk up directly into the M Sphere. There's a kind of a sketchy crosswalk just ahead where you see the two buses, and I'm pretty adventurous, and I do not like using that crosswalk at all. There, for a minute, used to be a security guard that would run out there with a little flashlight, and people would just kind of ignore him. But that seems to be gone now. So you're kind of on your own. And even if there's a little break in the cars, you can see the people crossing the road there if you can make it out. There's a bicycle going across. Motorbikes just come out of nowhere. So that, to me, is not a real good solution to cross the street, but it kind of is what it is. And here's Soi 33, not to be confused with 33/1, where the Robin Hood, O'Shea's, and the Royal Oak Taverns are. This 33, it's a busy street. It's nice. It has two noble buildings, just a 2 or 3 minute walk to the right. It's a fine street. But this 25, again, it's not a dead-end street. It just leads into a neighborhood of houses. So really the only traffic are people coming in and out of the two low-rise buildings. I think there's a hotel as well. And cars that might be going back to their home. Compared to a normal Bangkok street like mine, Sukhumvit 26, again, there's a little peek at the crosswalk. This is a kind of a rare break in the action. I mean, it's going on 8 o'clock at night, and 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, there'll be equal amount or more than this amount of traffic. Yeah, I'm just not a real fan of this crosswalk. Again, cars seem to tap their brakes, and then a motorbike might just zip through out of nowhere. Okay, and there's the guy back over there. He's not walking the pedestrians across. He's kind of staying on the sidewalk and holding his flashlight. There's a little bit of confusion going on. Before, he was kind of walking a group at a time. And maybe here's another traffic guy. Yeah, it's just not the greatest solution when we could have a walkway coming straight down onto the odd side. I think it would take more business into the mall rather than take it away. We're coming up to Soi 31, another beautiful street with some nice condo options down the way, but it's a busy street. And I'm not looking for an oasis in the middle of Bangkok, but it's nice when you find these little pockets. Yeah, going on a red light is not the greatest idea. Even going on a green light's not the greatest idea at times. These bikes just come out of nowhere. And sometimes they're going the wrong way. I get it. They need to get from point A to point B, and if that is zipping up the sidewalk on the wrong side of the street, they're usually pretty careful. But if you're going to walk around blasting headphones and all, you better be on top of your situational awareness. Those bikes will come up on you fast. Now this is a little bit safer crosswalk. At least it has a light, but the lights don't mean much to a lot of cars and motorbikes. I'll just put it that way. You can see the two guys trapped in the middle of the road. Supposedly it's a walk, don't walk, but when it turns green, there will still be bikes off on this area here just zipping through the red light. So watch yourself. Plus this light, I don't know, it seems to take 2 or 3 minutes, maybe longer. But it's a little bit safer option than no walk or don't walk sign up there by the M Sphere. Plus, if you're over on this side, on the other side of the street is the Holiday Inn, the top of Sukhumvit Soi 22. That's a great little area with plenty of food and choices to grab a drink. And this crosswalk with the light right in between the Holiday Inn and the El Toro Steakhouse. Let's see. Okay, it turned green there. Nice and safe, but yeah, it's not unusual for a motorbike to be right here in between the cars and the curb and just going 30 or 40 miles an hour looking down at his phone for his next food delivery. See, you can see it's a red light, and that's a little bit more of an advisory thing, I guess. People are kind of shooting through there, so you may have the green light. You might also get nailed by somebody running a red light. And you'll probably hang out often down here on Soi 22 if you live anywhere a mile or two from this area. Made our way up to Sukhumvit, Soi 29. This is a really interesting street. It's not very long. See, I love these streets that are, hey, this does dead end. I'm just going by memory. I haven't been down there in 6 months. I need to go down and explore. But any little street like that dead ends right in the center of town, it's just ideal. There's, you're gonna be up here in the Bangkok metropolitan, and a 2-minute walk going home. It's gonna be like walking down a little country road. The top of the street is a little sports bar, actually kind of big, the Penalty Spot. And next to the Penalty Spot is probably my favorite burger in town, the Prime Burger. There are 2 or 3 locations here in Bangkok. I know they have one in Pattaya. And I've never really noticed this place. Right next to the Prime Burger is I'm sure you can get copies in there, photo IDs for your visa and immigration paperwork. I usually go to a place, I think it's called Asia Copy, right across the street on Sukhumvit from the M Sphere. Really nice family. And here's the Carlton Hotel. The Radisson Blu is just across the way. Yes, off to the right here is Soi 27. There is not much down there. Again, an entrance to get into the houses back there. There might be one little building tucked away back there, but I'm on a mission to take you up to the next street, Soi 25 today. But off to the left on the other side of the street, across the way, is Sukhumvit Soi 20. You can see a breakfast story on the 2nd floor and a Buddy's Bar and Grill down below. Buddy's, 4 or 5 locations around town. A lot of fun. And Soi 20 is a great street. Kind of expensive, but I mean, if you can find a place in there for 40 or 50,000 baht, it's going to be a nice apartment in one of the best areas of town. Really, really nice. But Sports on 20, you can see the steel fence that is up on the other side. There used to be a bar there called Corner Sports Bar, I believe, or Corner on 20, something like that. I'd only been in there once or twice, but just up on the down the street just a little bit before you come to the Deck restaurant, you'll find the new Sports on 20. Right at the top of 25 is a couple of massage places, Thai and Nature. They're both legit and they're still going to be cheap. Let's take a look at the price list if they have one. I'll guess 500 baht or less for 1 hour. I know you can probably get a 200 baht massage up in Isan, but this isn't Isan. I'm sure the rent here in Bangkok is, call it 50 times more than the rent in many places in Isan. This place just popped up. How do you play darts? Okay, my buddies John and Grant and Kwong, they're big into darts. I see, oh, there it is right there. It's an electronic dart board, but at least one pool table, and it's next door to the Pablo. Let me stick my camera over there and see how many tables they have. Well, I see 2 tables. Yeah, and the Pablo, it's happy hour, 99 baht. Buy 2, get 1 free drinks. Oh, I didn't see that young lady covering her face up. I try to be a little bit discreet, I guess. I don't like to stick cameras in everybody's face. But here is Soi 25. So if we go just up the way, you can see a set of stairs that will take you to the other side of the street in Sukhumvit, Soi 16. And if you see the Solaria Hotel right there, not too far behind that is Benjakiti Park. But this is where I'm bringing you tonight, Soi 25. And in this Vasu 1 building are a couple of the Embassy of India. What else? I think there's a couple of small embassies or consulates in there. I don't know what it is, Costa Rica, something. I didn't even know India was in there. I knew the ambassador to India lives in the neighborhood back here. But right where that car pulled out, that is one apartment building. I think that may be the Mirage. We were having that discussion a week or so ago, and 2 people told me, yeah, you know, I passed an apartment in that Mirage and I really wish I would have took it. No, this is called the Upper Suites, Sukhumvit 25. I think the Mirage is the one right next to it. But these aren't huge places. I mean, just judging from the outside, I would guess these are 35 square meter. Again, that is a very common size, 31, even 29 square meter for Southeast Asia is not uncommon. Yeah, see, there's another 4 or whatever that is, 6-story building at the end of the street, and this hotel on the left, the Grand Friesa. And I brought up that Mirage twice now. Maybe it's not here. It's not on Soi 25. I've definitely filmed the Mirage many times, and I thought it was here as well. In our conversation, we were all saying it was on Soi 25, but this is the Mela Grande. And I think one guy was even talking about this Mela Grande. You can see they have large-sized balconies, so that probably equates to a more 48 square meter type place. Unless the Mirage is back here, but I think that is all hotel. You know what? That might be the Mirage tucked away back there. They're all kind of blending together now. I've walked up and down these streets 100 times, but just here to the right at the end of the little brick down there. Let's see if he goes around that corner. I'm sure you can take a car there, but it's definitely not bumper to bumper traffic. I mean, compared to Soi 33, Soi 31, it's just constant cars. This is the next best thing to a little dead-end street. But at least check out this Mela Grande or the upper suites, or consider some of these smaller buildings. Many of us rush right to, I want to be in a high-rise and I want to be on the 28th floor, and all that's good and fine. I've lived on the well, what am I on now? I'm on the 27th floor, and I've lived on the 25th floor up in Newt. That's all good and fine, but if I were to get a unit in the 10th floor of that same building and save $150 a month, I would probably do that. It's more important to me where the building is than what floor I'm on. Sure, the view is nice, and maybe there's something to be said for less bugs up high. I mean, right now, my windows are open, and they'll be open until I get home at midnight, 1 in the morning, and I've never seen a fly or a mosquito in my place. Now, if I had lived next to a drainage clong or something like that on the 2nd floor, I'm sure that would be a whole different ball game. But I don't know. Living on the 10th floor, not near a clong, that's probably not much of an issue. But even that building, and this is the little alley, I'll call it, to get back into the neighborhood. I'm trying to go slow here in the low light. Or that building there, I can just tell from here, those are large units just by the windows. That building would be beautiful. And from there, I don't know, a 12-minute walk to all the malls up there by Phrom Phong, less than a 10-minute walk to get up to Terminal 21. I know a lot of people want to be less than 5 minutes from a train station, but 9 out of 10 times that will be double the price. I'm just getting our bearings. I don't know if you caught that train going by. That is the BTS track straight ahead. Vasu 1 building, it says the consulate, or maybe it says Embassy of Argentina, and I think Colombia is also in there. So many of these office buildings will have these smaller consulates. The U.S. Embassy, the Japanese Embassy, these take up acres down there on Wireless Road. Many of these not smaller countries. I'm sure there are less people from Argentina running around Bangkok than there are from Canada and Australia. Okay, so there you go. Sorry I kept throwing out the Mirage. I would have bet money it was right here on 25, but it must be on Soi 27, and we were both just mixing it up. But here's just an idea of a little bit quieter street off one of the crazier streets in all of Bangkok, much less Thailand, Sukhumvit. There's nothing wrong with being close to Sukhumvit without being right, in the thick of it. It's not really a noise thing. Sometimes I'll get comments on how can you stand the noise. When I lived in Bangkok or stayed there, all I heard, was horns and car traffic and sirens. I don't know. I've been holding the camera here, 15, 20 seconds. Have you heard one honking horn? I have not. So I think some people just hear things that aren't there, and maybe they're coming from, I don't know, Des Moines, Iowa, or someplace where just the traffic is different in a city of 16 million people, and it might freak them out a little bit. I get it. Maybe Bangkok's not for you, but to call it a crazy, noisy, chaotic city, I don't know. These folks have never been to Delhi or different cities in China and Vietnam. I mean, that is noise pollution. Here in Thailand, it's just not a problem, not to me anyhow, or any of my friends. So thanks again for following along this walk over here to Soi 25 from Prompong with me. I need to throw this phone in my backpack, and I have 10 minutes to run over to O'Shea's and meet my buddies. I appreciate you watching. There'll be plenty more looks around town. You take it easy and have a great evening.